The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the NAKE'd podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Crazy, and I'm here making Peach's life hell.
When you find out the majority of your favorite musicals are all happening in one city 4 hours north of you, you find ways to make it happen. Hey guys, it's Keelan.
I'm back from my 1 week off, and I'm about to put Crazy in a super tiny jail. TJ and Alan, what's up?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Damn it! That's the one-liner. Damn it!
All them bells and you're muted.
No, I said 99 problems, but bells ain't one. It's NJ and apparently having a rough Monday.
Hey, can I borrow that bag? I'm gonna go bury it in the backyard and see what happens.
Hopefully it's 10,000 bells.
Yes.
Has to be 10,000 bells.
If only.
I almost have like a workable island.
Blathers like annoys me so much. I'm like over Blathers recently.
All right, dude, just like stay awake, please.
It's like a fucking whole dialogue when you go talk to him. Like, I'm just here to process fossils. Like, please just tell me you already have them so we can just get on with our lives.
You and I both know what we want to do here.
Can somebody automate this job, please?
I've tried.
Well, yeah, I don't have a good transition for this one. Going from Animal Crossing to Harry Potter, we have a real life Ministry of Truth, apparently. Crazy. Tell us about that.
So, the Biden administration announced that the Department of Homeland Security, right? So TSA, Guantanamo Bay, those people, they're going to start a Disinformation Governance Board. So if you're familiar with the book 1984, they have something in that called the Ministry of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing is really weird. It was like in the last 2 weeks, Obama had a big speech and he's like, hey, we need more government oversight of disinformation. And then we have Elon Musk started the process of buying Twitter. It hasn't been finalized at this point, but
the board
so far
it's approved, right?
The board has approved. The shareholders need to approve.
Okay.
So, but it's just once they sign off on it, it's a done deal. But all this happens at once, and the next thing you know, they have a Department of Truth popping up, and it's just who thought this was a good idea?
That's a bad idea.
I saw a headline and it just said bad idea and even worse name.
Right.
It's called the Disinformation Governance Board, which is really hard to say. It's a mouthful. But to your point about
DGP.
DGP. But to your point, like it feels gross, right? Because all these, like, take the FBI for example. You guys know I am a true crime junkie, and after a certain time, statute of limits, this goes away, and these case files are in public information. And things that the FBI did 50, 60 years ago, very questionable, most likely now illegal. Why would I trust that same government to tell me what and what not to believe? Like, I understand that it was probably created with a good intention, but the overall arc of it is just really hard to trust. And why would we at this point?
And come back to it is like, when is the president going to trust me to make my own decisions? because I haven't we went through COVID. We went through where it was very just do what you're told. The government's here to help you. You know, things we don't like hearing normally. and then this pops up now, and it's just like, do y'all think I'm stupid? I'm starting to take offense to these plans and these things, because I can understand that Alex Jones isn't a gospel. You know what I mean? Like, it's for entertainment. You don't have to censor him, man. It's fine. We get that it's a joke.
But that's the thing. Some people don't, and I'm not trying to fight for this disinformation. Governance Board. I think it's a bad fucking idea. It feels so bad, but
it's not something you want your enemy to have. Definitely.
It's not something that I don't even believe we should have. Like, yes, the government does need to kind of try to help control disinformation, but this isn't the way.
It's just even tougher because, like, the purpose of media, right, is to be a government watchdog for the most part, right? To alert you of what's going on in your country. But we can't trust our media because it's so biased, and we can't trust our government because, come on, it's the government. So why would they think that this is going to be a good idea is beyond me. But they may not even have legal grounds for it to be even a thing. So I read a little bit about it. So it's illegal. And apparently the executive branch, in order to spend the funds on this board, they would need to put it to a vote to Congress, number one. And I think
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening.
Because even a lot of Democrats have come out against this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, I think disinformation is a problem, right? Like, fake news is a problem. But at the same token, the government isn't the entity to decide what cannot be shared. I mean, that's might as well just live in China, right? That censors the internet.
Exactly. And then the professional that they hired to head the board, they don't really have the best track record of being nonpartisan.
I heard about
I did
this.
read that too.
So that's the thing. The person who was appointed director of the board of misinformation, for one, has made multiple public statements saying that the Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation, which it has been confirmed by the New York Times and the New York Post so far.
And Washington Post.
And by my personal beliefs, was confirmed by the FBI raids to recover the originals of the laptop. So
you're about to say
they went against, yeah. But no, because the FBI raided James O'Keefe, who was the original owner of this. No, sorry, that was the Biden journal. That wasn't the laptop. Giuliani had the laptop. But again, Giuliani's being raided and pulled in front of committees over this laptop, and to me that gives some validity to it. So just at that starting point, to know that they were that wrong about a big story, is like, yeah, this person should not. They're clearly not bipartisan.
Yeah,
What a bad start. Bad start.
Just terrible everything.
One thing is just this proves that they just need to stop. Let's just calm down. Let's stop making a new czar or a new board or a new committee, and let's just like figure out what's going on.
Just what we need is for all these people like Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson,
CNN.
to be CNN too, including CNN. They need to make sure that when they have these powerful people who have a wide fucking audience and a heavy fucking word, to announce that they have opinions, that everything they say is an opinion of theirs. And if you don't agree with it.
Well, so on that note, I mean, they're not perfect, but Fox News is better about that, about stating opinion pieces, than CNN is. CNN will never classify anything as their opinion pieces on their live broadcasts, right? Like in the columnists, they will, but their live broadcasts, like Don Lemon always gives his opinion. Brian Stelter is an opinion show, but they present everything and they claim everything as facts. Like Reliable Sources itself is an opinion show on other networks, right? Like it's what did Fox do wrong today?
Yeah.
And that's opinion. That's fine. Like you can state your opinion, and I've said that before. Like that's like the Daily Wire states their position and opinion at the beginning of pretty much every broadcast, right? So like you know what you're getting. It's some of the networks I think have lost trust, like NJ was saying, because they don't clearly state. Like I don't know one legacy media that I watch on the regular right anymore.
Yeah. I don't.
Recently turned to local news because national news was just too damn depressing. Local news isn't that much better, spoiler.
But this definitely moving forward is not something I think we need to encourage or tolerate.
So what's like what can we expect next? Like, do you think that because of all the issues, like it will go to a vote, or will this administration be sued? Like, can they be sued for implementing a practice like this that could be unlawful?
So yeah, I mean, this is. I don't think this is going to go through much further than it has. A lot of House of Representatives on both sides of the aisle have been vocal about this, that it's a bad idea. Even Jen Psaki, when she was pressed on questions about it today, her questions were very evasive and very like, turn the script, you know? And they're not answering questions on it. They're not giving any information. And it was kind of rushed and thrown out there. I think might have been a distraction, or they just kind of thrown things at the wall and see what sticks. And I think this was just a little too far over the line for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, this is way over the fucking line. I would never imagine that someone would try to pass something like...
Not even pass it, just implement it.
Implement
like, this wasn't an idea proposed. Like, this was a brand new program that they've already worked on.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like also, you know, not to get too far off the weeds, but we've talked about it before, is right now they keep talking about the student debt forgiveness. But I don't know how the president would do that, because that involves money, and Congress has to approve all budgets and all spending. So I don't think the president can just sign a paper and like, hey, debt's disappeared. That's just kind of kingly. You know?
He's definitely trying to
Not
play...
how that works.
What he's trying to do right now is just pander to us more than he already has.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean,
at this point,
worst
I'm
approval
fucking
ratings in 100 years.
Yeah.
I think even CNN was saying that he's down 30% on approval.
How is he
in 1
down
year.
30%? Last time we saw it, it was like 23%.
No,
he's
no,
negative 7 now.
he's in. Sorry, I should phrase that better. He's around the same percentage, but he's gone down around 30% in the last year.
A significant amount. Wow.
Yeah.
When even you know, Donald Trump had a disapproval rating for the majority of his presidency, but he still hovered about a 10% up and down throughout the entire presidency. Biden's been, I think, he started at like 82% and he's at 39% right now. Yeah.
Whoever at the Democratic's office thought that an old man was better than Trump, you're sorely mistaken.
Again, I'm just saying, both sides, if they just stop, things would get better. Stop trying to print money. Stop trying to fix things. Stop trying to bribe us. Just let us forget about the government for like a year, and then you'll get so much more out of us.
I don't know.
Do my taxes for me. That's all I really ask.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop letting H&R Block line your pockets while they line theirs.
But again, so the Board of Disinformational Governance, or whatever it is, the
board of bullshit.
I see that as another encroachment of government into our daily lives. And
it's not great.
Gosh, what bad news. But I have a little bit of good news to share with you guys. Last time we all met up together, I told you guys about the case of Melissa Lucio. And she was actually one of the first women to be put on death row and be executed here in Texas, or first Hispanic woman. Her execution date was set for April 27th. I believe on Monday of last week, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals granted her a stay of execution, which doesn't mean that she won't be executed. It just means that her case will now go to another court to hear the new evidence for her. So hopefully she gets justice, evidence, and her lawyers can present a good case for some sort of justice, even if it's not, the current ruling. But I mean, that was kind of nice. The government, the governor didn't even need to intervene. The Court of Appeals was able to take care of it.
That's so good.
That's good. Yeah.
I mean, to see the system actually working right now is nice.
It is nice. It is nice.
Fucking
it is a little glimmer of hope. But yeah, that's all I had to update. I just wanted to update you guys on that because I know that was something we had talked about, and it was a pretty broad topic. In other true crime news that is related here in Texas, especially San Antonio, in 2017, a woman by the name of Angelica Navarro-DePaz, she was arrested for basically trying to hire a hitman to kill her boyfriend's sister. So Angelica is this businesswoman that had businesses here in San Antonio as well as Austin, like cantinas, small restaurants, taco trucks, cleaners, mechanics. Like, she had a slew of businesses. And an undercover agent for the San Antonio Police Department actually got her on recording trying to hire him to be a hitman. So the price that they settled on was $1,700 and some cocaine. And she paid him $850 right up from the front and said, hey, you'll get the rest once you do the job. I don't care what you do. Go ahead. Just do what you got to do. So right after they left this restaurant where they met up, she was promptly arrested, obviously. And now her trial starts. So now it's 2022. It's been 5 years. She was held on like millions of dollars worth of bond. Now, Angelica, in her testimony, was saying that it was all like a ploy. She said that there was like a police informant that set her up on this ruse, and she was like conned into doing this for like bad people, like mafia level people, about immigration papers. So her story is very inconsistent. But yeah, she tried to hire someone to kill her boyfriend's sister. She's throwing anything at the wall that will stick. It looks very likely that she will be prosecuted. She could get up to 99 years to life in prison, which is basically the same thing. But literally, it goes from 5 years to 99 years.
Yeah.
That's such a large scale. Like, how do you gauge that, right? Like, oh, you didn't really mean to do this. Like, if you pay, do you get the higher end? I don't understand how that. If you're a lawyer, please explain that to me.
My biggest question with that is why the boyfriend's sister? Normally, when we would expect to see a case like this, we would expect to see the boyfriend. So why the boyfriend's sister? Is that something we know?
Apparently, the girl, her name was Angeli, or her name is Angeli. She was involved with she was apparently involved in human trafficking, according to Angelica. So we truly don't even really know if that was part of the reason. yeah, like if she's found guilty, 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Um, yeah, so it's definitely a capital charge of capital murder with ramification, like plotting, like you're plotting to murder somebody.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
even as a successful, I think it just makes me that much more mad because I'm like, you're someone who worked your ass off to have all these businesses. You're a woman. You're Hispanic. Like I wanted to root for you, and then you have to turn around and do shit like this. Why? It's really hard. It's really hard. But yeah, so we'll see. The second day of testimony, it started on Tuesday. Second testimony happened on Monday. So we'll see what the jury comes back with. But for my memory of seeing this in the news a couple years ago, everybody kind of thinks she's just guilty and just trying to get anything stick to the wall.
Yeah, she sounds guilty.
I would say so. The police informant. I have so many questions. So there's a police informant. Was he just like some random guy who was already an informant? Was he planted in there to like try to weasel in her ear, or did they like find out about this somehow and then they planted him?
I don't have the full details there. She had
Yeah.
tried to do the hitman, right? He was an undercover police officer, but the informant was somebody different. Apparently, she does have connections to the mob underworld, whatever that looks like. But in my
Probably the
opinion, if she has like connections to the
Yeah.
mob underworld, why is she out here trying to hire a hitman herself? Like, wouldn't she have people do that for her?
Yeah. And then-
Unless it was somebody in that world.
Maybe.
We watch too many movies.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
her claim is that the sister was a human trafficker. Then yeah, she's probably tied up with the mob too. So that would make sense. But then why wouldn't the police at least investigate the sister if that's why she was trying to go after her?
Not a lot of information is known about the boyfriend's sister. I think probably for their own protection, they were probably put in hiding. Even the undercover police officer that recorded her, his name is not being released in court because of his role and protection for his cover. So
makes sense.
that person is probably still in there. So we'll have to think about them. But sorry.
Good.
I was going to say that the articles weren't super clear, but where she had met the undercover cop was some Mexican restaurant off of Northwest Loop 410. So I want to know which restaurant that was. Like, we're sitting in the spot where someone tried to hire a cop for murder.
It was definitely
Right,
Taco Bell
dumbass.
and gay.
I was
So-
like, it is possible.
As
Yeah.
people who kind of, I know one, definitely grew up in San Antonio. Y'all are native to San Antonio, been here longer than I have. Do you think it was off of Petrenko or off of Marbach?
Marbach.
It do be ghetto over there, definitely. Marbach.
Yeah.
Petrenko's a little gentrified now.
Yeah. Alma Ranch really changed Petrenko.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is your true crime download. But actually, the crime doesn't stop here because some Apple AirTags are being used nefariously.
Yes.
Is that right?
I feel bad for this Tennessee family. This Tennessee family, 17-year-old daughter, went to Disney, to the happiest place on earth, to be absolutely happy. 11 p.m. at night, they get a notification on their Apple devices like, hey, this AirTag's been tagging along with you since like 7 p.m. And fucking wild. Like, they pulled up the map, and it had been following them all day, on and off. And
Yeah.
they were so spooked they went to the cops, and the cops were like, well, you didn't find anything. We can report the matter, but that's it. But this isn't the first instance that Apple AirTags have been used for drugs, for smuggling people. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And it's been happening since the release of the AirTags. Do you know that on one Apple account you can have up to 12 AirTags associated with it?
Wow. No, I do not.
Yeah. And you
Wow.
can have up
Why?
to 5 emails tied to an account, tied to a family account. And I mean, you have Google to create emails, right? So you can create 5 new emails. That's 12 AirTags per account. 12 times 5.
And there's no
72
information on these
tags.
air tags. Like, there's not even like a serial number, I don't think.
There is a serial number. That's how the cops are able
Okay.
to track down who the account belongs to, because Apple's not going to fork anything over. Apple is very much on your side of data security. You know, the police will need a subpoena from a judge in order to hand over ownership information. But how are you able to get that when all these AirTags are tied to fake emails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of
Yeah.
like people finding them in like the bumper of their car or in like a wheel well or something, and they get tagged at like the mall or the store, and they take them home, and then they got to sit and watch the routine, to be abducted or to rob. Like, that's scary. That's so
Yeah.
accessible to people.
Yeah.
That's like the only reason I'm glad I have an iPhone, is just so that, hey, I can get that notification if whenever, is attached to my car. It's terrifying.
I have an app on my phone because I'm not an Apple person. I have an app called Tracker Detect, and you just run it. As soon as it finds one, it notifies you. But yeah, no, like it's getting fucking scary out there with these AirTags. I don't know what Apple's gonna try to do to limit how much a person buys.
What can they though? I mean,
Yeah.
like, what can they do really?
Honestly, like, I understand they were designed for like keys or whatever to like
Mhm.
find things, but at the same time, like, it's not even worth it. It's not worth putting that out in the market where it could just be misused like that and put people's lives in danger. If anything, Apple should be held accountable.
Yeah.
I would want to see Apple held accountable. I mean, the fact that you can attach 12 to one account is insane. At least
Well,
limited
the
down
fact
to
that you
4.
can, yeah, that you can attach that many without being able to trace. Like, it'd be one thing if, like, yeah, like, you would think, like, you have one in your wallet, you got one in your backpack, maybe one in your purse, right? So, like, you're thinking you're gonna have multiple, but those tags need to be like registered in GPS trackable so you know where it was purchased and where it is.
Yeah.
And that should be accessible to only the owner, but again, it can be subpoenaed. So,
I do like the idea of the AirTags being able to communicate with other Apple devices in case if you do lose something, you can easily locate it. It's a genius idea.
yeah.
But why do you have such a small little pin device?
Yeah. At this point, it's a safety risk. It's doing more harm than good. We're seeing multiple stories come out about it, and it's making people scared, which it should be. And I don't know, maybe look at the ones on like Amazon or something. You would think and that's where I go back and forth, because like if you get one of the ones on Amazon, then you're definitely looking at not getting that notification, right? Whereas Apple's, at least it has that security.
Yeah. It's hard. Like,
Also, why did it take 4 hours for them to get the notification that they've been tracked for 4 hours? Like, I think that's
Yeah.
way too long. Like, it's one thing to pass somebody, right? Like, you're at Disneyland, like, there's a lot of people walking around. You pass somebody or you're in line for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But 4 hours? Like, that's excessive.
Yeah. You think after like 30, 45 minutes, an hour, you'd get that notification.
And what's
Yeah.
worse is like they had been all over the park when they finally got the notification they were leaving Disneyland, and they searched all of their belongings trying to find it before they left.
I read the article that you sent, Peach, and they could see the map of where it had started tracking her, and it tracked their entire visit, like step for step, basically. So it's amazing, like how accurate it is, but at the same time, like that is very Truman Show-esque.
Yeah.
That's fucking dangerous. That's some Taken level shit right there.
Yeah.
Put a air tag in all your kids' backpacks.
I'll know where they're at all times. Don't worry.
There are hundreds of stories on Reddit too. Like this isn't like we all know this isn't the first instance, and it's not going to be the last. But Apple needs to do something. If the cops can't do anything, and Apple's not going to release the information, limit how many a person can buy. Fucking track. Do something about this. Jesus. Like you're not liable until you are. And that is a very blurred line.
Yeah. And I guess that it comes down to that. Like, what can they do without invading our privacy, really? Too much.
And saying, you know, we hear the stories of people being able to find them either on their person or in their vehicle. How many stories have we not heard where they haven't been able to find them and things hit the fan, you know?
Yeah. People disappear.
And I know, you know, this isn't the first time we're going to talk about this, and it's definitely not going to be the last, but still it's important to know that there are nefarious people out there who will use technology for nefarious purposes.
Be aware of your surroundings too. Crazy.
You know who is not aware of his surroundings?
We're not even sure.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight on Disney. Okay, so first off, had any of you, aside from probably you two, so Norma, have you heard of this character before?
I've never heard of his character. So I have to actually say, we watched the first episode. I wasn't a fan. I didn't have plans on returning to it. You're like, I want to talk about it. And I was like, okay, we'll watch it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad she did that because it was really good.
Me, like the first couple of episodes that we watched, I was like, meh, it's okay. Like, yeah, it's got Egyptian gods. That's really cool. That's different. I like that aspect, but I'm very confused. He's going back and forth. What's up with the gods? Who's trying to do what? And it wasn't until about the fourth or fifth episode, I think it was the fifth, and we'll get to it, where everything really clicked into place for me. There's still a couple parts I'm iffy on, but that fifth episode. Okay, let's start at the beginning. So we meet Stephen Grant, looked down upon by his coworkers, surprised that he has a date, and we see that he is really bad with his memory. I thought I was bad, but no, I don't have to shackle myself to the bed in order to make sure I don't leave.
Yeah, I was really confused, especially with the bit about the fish.
Oh yeah, like how does a fish just, you know, get a new fin out of nowhere?
He just healed. The water is magical.
And then we see him finding bits and pieces of a separate life and even gaining the name of Mark, and find out Mark has been married for years and hasn't seen his wife in months. It was like, okay, so who's the split personality? Is it Steven or is it Mark? Who did in the beginning y'all think was the main personality?
I thought it was Mark from the beginning, to be honest. Only because Steven couldn't really remember. And things are just like really weird in his life. Like when we first started watching.
Yeah.
At first I thought, I didn't know who the primary was. Like at all. I was confused the entire time. I was along for the ride. My hands were up. I was going, wee.
I figured it would be hard for Steven to be the main personality, just for the simple fact that Mark is so skilled. It would take a lifetime to learn those skills. But then again, he's also like, when the one, not to get too far into spoilers, but when the one god, when he becomes the avatar for the god, that one god, he could also bestow knowledge, and in order to help protect Steven, he could fracture his memory or mind, store all that information, and then let that be the dominant personality to use that information. It's possible.
Yeah. Okay, so it made sense in my head for Steven to be the primary because he had a life, he had a flat, he had the whole thing going on. I don't know, it never clicked until episode 5, where it's like, okay, this makes sense.
So let's go ahead and get into the spoiler territory. Mute us now. So, because I don't remember episode 4.
That's
so
where...
episode 5. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's where they find Alexander the Great's tomb.
Oh, Alexander the Great. Okay, yeah. I just watched up to where he rewatched up to where he walked into the Pyramid of Giza. So, and rewatching has really helped a lot too. It makes a lot more sense. I'm actually following the other storyline instead of being like focused on, okay, but who is who?
Right. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
we're all Steven. We're all just trying to get caught up.
Please help.
I'm Steven too, damn it.
What did y'all think of the differences of the moon suit?
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool too, because it showed
cool.
It showed that Stevens wasn't complete. So that was another indicator to me that he wasn't the primary personality, because his suit was like, it seemed half done, right? Whereas Mark's suit has the cape, the cool, like, cloak thing to it.
And when he jumps, he makes a half moon.
Steven's emblem was empty, whereas Mark's actually had like the moon. So like that was like some foreshadowing that I picked up on pretty quick. But at the same time, you're like, could it be Mark or could it be Steven? And why, if Mark's the primary personality, why is Steven the star of the show right now? So it wasn't until that last episode that it totally made sense, and I felt really bad for him.
Oh my god, that's such a tragic backstory.
Yeah, so let's get into the backstory, or the setup for the backstory. How cool was it that they got to meet the hippo god?
Oh my gosh, I really liked her. She was, I would be her friend.
That would be me. I don't have a note for this. Hang on. Okay. Welcome, travelers.
Gentle travelers.
I thought it was really interesting in that scene where they were able to kind of both be there.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then walking through Mark's backstory. So I'm still confused. Maybe episode 4 answers this. In the beginning of episode 5, them going back and forth between being on the boat and being in the therapist's office. Is that something I've just missed, or?
I think that's a memory. I think that's a shared memory they have. Them kind of being on the boat together really gave me foreshadowing as to what comes at the end of the episode. But I felt that whenever he would jump in and out, he was jumping in and out of a memory, because this was the first time that the hippo had ever seen anyone's afterlife plane be kind of projected as a therapist office.
A mental asylum.
Yeah.
Because she's like, it's a place that's familiar. So it had to be a memory.
And I think that was something that was chosen by both of them, and not just Mark or Steven.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't believe all these characters are part of this mental institution either, like Layla or Lila.
Mhm.
Like I don't think that she was like just a random girl that was there when he was there, if he was. Like I feel like that was genuine. Maybe could be the influence of Harold, who like when they're on the boat, they saw all those souls crashing into the sand without judgment. So like
Yeah.
maybe he had some type of influence to stop Stephen and Mark.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like as the therapist, like I couldn't tell if he was helping or not. It was very
Yeah.
weird. Like I didn't get that part.
Yeah. And then the therapist telling Mark, open up to Steven. We see the scaredness on Mark's face. We know that he's terrified, but we don't really realize why until we get to the memory with his mother. That was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was very
that
hard
was
to watch.
I mean, granted, the old bat kind of deserved it, but it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
The what deserved it?
The old bat. I was just quoting What We Do in the Shadows.
She beat him with a belt.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that.
Yeah,
No.
he didn't deserve that.
No. Yeah, that was hard. And watching him, go into a separate personality for the first time, it was interesting. Because I've never known anybody, who's had like separate or different personalities. Seeing portrayed in somebody who's like a fighter for justice, I thought that was interesting. Because a lot of the times when we hear about people with split personalities or multiple personalities, they're always portrayed negatively, which they are a lot of the times. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that portrayal for sure. Like with a superhero that doesn't have it all together, right? Someone that can have a mental handicap to some capacity. So I'm just really like, I hope this wasn't a season finale. I hope it wasn't because it's only episode 5. But I just really want to know like what is truth, right? And I think that a lot of people with those disabilities maybe are on that same struggle, right? Like what is the truth?
Yeah.
What's real? And
Yeah.
that has to be so hard to live with. I'm glad that Disney, Marvel shed a light on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy, how are you feeling about the show?
I'm liking it. I was, I'm not super familiar with it, but I do understand that it is supposed to have more of a Deadpool feel, and I get what Disney Plus is trying to do. Is they've really PG'd it up from what it should be, but I mean, I'm liking it. I watch it, so
Yeah.
Do y'all think that we'll see Steven again?
oh yeah.
I hope so.
I don't know why they would not bring him back.
Well, he
Yeah.
And isn't there a third? We've seen bits and pieces of him,
third?
especially in
We're probably
episode
gonna end up
3.
seeing, we're probably gonna end up
Oh.
seeing a lot.
You're right.
Right.
There was a
So-
point in time
Mm-hmm.
during one of the fights that he was in where someone else took over.
Yeah, neither of them remembered. I
Yeah.
maybe thought it was what's his name? Konoshu, the god
Khonshu, yeah.
was maybe taking over as an avatar,
Mhm.
but
Well,
then
Yeah, so when Steven first because we just watched this, when Steven first takes over, they talk about the idiots in charge it has control of the body, and you hear multiple voices speak, and none of them are Mark's.
oh,
I didn't
So-
catch that.
We can say we've almost heard 2 other voices besides Mark's. So there may be 4 personalities.
What episode?
The first one, I believe. When Steven
He was driving the truck.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was
remember that.
Khonshu for
Yeah, I thought it was Khonshu
but
mostly
there's
on the voiceover.
but there's two different voices.
Okay. Interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. When do episodes drop? Fridays?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
It's always
You know what else drops on Wednesdays besides our lovely Circle of Jerks?
Circle of
Halo.
Jerks. Sorry.
Halo. Have you? I don't know
Have
if
y'all
you
been
guys
keeping
watched
up?
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been really good.
it's been good shit. I actually started playing the Halo games again because of it. I started playing Reach.
Really?
Yeah, I started playing it on
that's cool.
hard mode. I started dying almost immediately.
As someone who's never really played Halo, I'm enjoying it a lot.
What about you guys? Have you
Yeah,
guys been
I
enjoying
haven't.
Halo?
I just haven't been keeping up with the show as much as I should, and it's been a good show. I mean, it has my intrigue, but I'm still pissed off that Master Chief shows his face continuously.
As long as they end the series with, "Oh no, I can't take off my mask anymore." Oh well.
They couldn't,
Right? Are they?
They couldn't pull a Mandalorian, right? In his
Yeah.
mask the entire time, which is like, we saw how successful that was for Pablo Pascal. Like, we could read his body language accurately, but for a Spartan, you can't, right? Because that's the whole purpose. We're supposed to be emotionless. So it would have been interesting to see that change in Master Chief with the helmet on, like the increase in body language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, because I mean, this Master Chief has all his little body movements and head nods, and does like you can read him without him taking his mask off.
Yeah. Paramount was probably like, "Hey, you know how Disney has that thing with that masked guy? Let's have our thing with a masked guy, but he takes his mask off." It's exactly
Right.
what Paramount
Let-
did.
Let's do the opposite of Disney. That'll work.
Yeah, because
Isn't Paramount the opposite of Disney Network?
Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah. What are you guys playing this week? This week, jerks.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Probably more Pokemon. It's just there's been so much dialogue in it. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I finally took care of the Electrode on my side. I just got the last one.
You almost have a full Pokédex, right? Crazy.
In Pokemon Go, yeah. Well, of the original 151, I have 150. I'm missing Zapdos.
Oh. I think I might have an extra one. I'll check.
An extra one, like you play Pokemon Go.
Hey, I have a Mewtwo, okay? I have an armored Mewtwo.
Tomorrow we have D&D in the Discord with Kiwi Head. He'll be continuing on with Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And on Friday, Dancing Chef will be DMing a game for us for Curse of Strahd. Strahd? I thought too hard about it, and I was like, what is this word? So yeah, that's happening if you want to join the Discord and watch those. No Lost Mines of Fandalver this week. It is Mama's weekend. Love your mamas. If you are a bio mom, a bonus mom, a fur mom, you rock. Keep doing you. And Mother's Day can be really hard for some people, so I hope that you get a hug if it is hard for you.
I give free hugs. Bring it in.
He gives the best hugs. I may be biased. Well, that wraps up another great episode. And don't forget to join our amazing and supportive community on Discord.
In our Discord, you can find game nights, watch parties, food pics, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. What's not to love about that? We have a little something for everyone. Head over to our website, officialmillennials.com, and you'll find more info, especially our featured gamer of the week.
Speaking of something for everyone, we have a book club. We read a book almost every month and talk through it together. We also have a special perk for our subs to discuss other books in a series called Chapter 2.
Don't forget to swing by YouTube and drop us a follow at Official Millennials. You can also find us on Twitter at MillsOfficial. We appreciate all the support, and y'all have a good one.
This is an Official Millennials production.